it's recording. 3, 2, 1. Well, welcome to the podcast, David the Dog Trainer podcast.
We're 210?
210, technically 210. Okay,
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Right? I still haven't posted last week's episode yet.
What?
I'm deciding if I'm going to or not.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so everybody knows, in case the episode doesn't go up, to give you guys some context, we had a shitty fucking last week.
Yeah.
Like a really shitty last week. And I don't want to get into it all again because we did a whole episode on it. And then I'm like going back and forth. I'm feeling like it was just like really fucking whiny and like there wasn't much value to take out of it. And like I was talking about like, I don't want to say like sensitive subjects, but like, you know, I was talking about just like a bunch of problems we've been having. Right. And I'm just kind of deciding if I want to post it or not. So if it doesn't go out, just know that last week fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And we got past it. And we're having a better week this week. So
yeah. Okay. So this is episode.
So this is technically episode 210, but it may appear as episode 209.
209, 210. One of the two.
Yes. Okay. But at the end of last week's episode, which you guys have not heard, obviously, Josh and I decided to do something kind of fun. So I was out of town week and a half ago, something like that, and we got to visit the Ramsey Solutions Center in Nashville, which, if you guys know, Dave Ramsey, obviously that's his headquarters, and it was a extremely inspiring experience, right? Phenomenal business, beautiful grounds, huge campus that they have. Got to go watch the filming of the Ramsey show live. And just being in that type of environment is inspiring, right? So I bought his new book while I was there. He's got one like building a business you love, this, that. And it's like, it's a cool book. Okay. So I don't know. Do you read a lot? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever asked you that. It's probably a no, right? You don't
Not a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I read a decent amount. I've been reading more this year, right?
Yeah.
And I used to read a ridiculous amount. And I've always been like, I'll pick up a book and I just burn through it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, it's great, right? It's inspiring. I finish reading the book and I'm all like juiced up to go do stuff. Right. But like really, some of that is just like, what do they call it? Mental masturbation to some extent. Like when you're reading those books like that, where it's like, you finish it and then it's like, okay, does anything change?
Yeah.
Did you actually apply anything that you learned?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So this one, when I got it, it's a really easy read. It's like 200 pages, you know, big print. You burn through it. It's entertaining the way that it's written and stuff, but it's the way it's written out. It's like got like at the end of each chapter, like a QR code you scan that takes you to this like free resource where it has like workbooks that you go through and stuff like that. So I told myself, I said, you know what? This is probably gonna be the first time I ever like read a book like this and truly try to actively apply everything that I learn in it into the company to try to improve on things, right? So the chapter that I'm in right now, it's the Pathfinder chapter, right? It's detailing out when you're in the Pathfinder stages of your business, which means you're starting to create a company, you've got employees, this, that. It's getting everybody working towards the same mission.
Yeah.
Is basically the idea of it, right? And this is something that within our company, we have values. We have, you know, a mission we're trying to achieve. And I'm sure everybody generally can kind of point out what that is, right? But we've never solidified these things as like, hey, these are our driving things we stand by as a company, right? These are the driving things we stand by and how we treat each other, how we treat our customers, right? What we're trying to strive for. And as I'm going through this, the Pathfinder stage of this book gives you basically a workbook to go through to define your core values as well as your mission statement of your business. So Josh and I thought it would be fun to independently over the last week work on this stuff, come up with what those things are for ourselves, and then take the opportunity to then go through it together here on the podcast.
Yeah.
And see what we get.
And I think we both admitted just a few minutes ago, you know, because I was still finishing it up coming in here, but it was, what we thought would probably like take us maybe like 15, 20 minutes kind of took us like 3 or 4 days.
I guess I wasn't delusional to this was going to be a bit of an undertaking, especially if you want to take it seriously and not have it just be this like, oh yeah, let me just like write some shit out.
Yeah.
You know, because it is an important thing to define your mission. And keep in mind, like for some businesses, like this will change as time goes on. You know what I mean? You will add or subtract things to it, and it's going to grow, and you're going to adapt and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I did think that maybe if I gave myself a couple of hours and just sat down in front of this and just like went through each section and filled it out, I would get it done, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But like, I remember the first time I sat down and looked at it, I was like, damn. Like, I was like, all right, you know, I got myself like a little glass of scotch. I was like sitting there. Kate was out of town for a wedding. It was last Saturdays when I sat down and started working on this the first time.
Yeah.
And I just sat there at my dining table. I just had my drink, had this. I think I just got out of the hot tub. I was feeling like loosened up and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to work on this. And I got like halfway through one section of it. And I probably sat down in front of it for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it was tough. And then I had to like kind of like take a step back, and then I gave it a couple of days to simmer. Then I sat down with it again. Then I, same deal, took a step back. Then I kind of chit-chatted with Kayla about it a little bit a couple of days ago. And then this morning at like maybe 7:38, something like that, I sat down and I finished the rest of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So how did you feel going through this process?
Honestly, it was surprising.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like such simple things they ask you in here.
Yeah.
You know, and then it really makes you think about things in a different light, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially me, like I did this as, you know, I'm building this gym currently. So I think it's kind of nice because it's something that is coming to fruition in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, how do I find what is a core value of a gym? You know, creating a mission statement that, like you said, I think it was a good one. Is like not trying to just be like the same schmoozy words that any company would use. You know,
yes.
And
it's got to be unique to you.
Yeah,
it's like sure, all of us as human beings could say like there's. I guess we can sort of start getting into this. Like number one of like uncover the core values, define your culture, right? So number one is identify your personal values, and it says ask yourself, what do I stand for? What values would I like to live out, but I'm not currently achieving? What does success look like for me? Like, I'm sure every human being on the planet, for the most part, can list out like 5 consistent things that everybody actually thinks.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, I want to be honest, right? I want to be trustworthy. I want to be this. I want to be that. You know what I mean? Like, of course, like everybody for the most part is going to care about those types of things, but I didn't want it to be like, oh, I just read all those like really fucking obvious ones.
Yeah.
I wanted to get to something that like the whole point of this is we could have these core values we look at. And as a company, I could look at like, okay, let's say you have an employee that, you know, whatever, they're not breaking any rules, right? They're doing the work you're asking them to do, but like I'm sure everybody has been in this situation, whether they worked somewhere and experienced this or they owned a business where it's like somebody just didn't feel like they fit. You know what I mean? There are some times where it's hard to pinpoint what exactly is going wrong because they're doing the things you're asking them to do. You know what I mean? And they're not doing anything necessarily poorly, but when you have these values, you could go into it and you could really figure out like nothing against an individual, but just like we don't share the same views on how we want things to go, on how we view life, on how we view interacting with customers, on how we view interacting with each other, et cetera, right? Or from a client standpoint, right? If we're having an interaction with a client or something's either going really well or really poorly, we could look at like if we have employees that do understand these values that we stand by in our culture, we could ensure that all of our employees are going to be able to handle and resolve whatever situation is put in front of them the way that we as the company expect that it to be handled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure it was individualized to those things.
Okay.
So, let's start getting into these things. So we'll, I don't know, maybe we'll just take it each one, and then you could talk on your thing, I'll talk on my thing. We'll kind of just chit chat a little bit. Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So we're starting with uncovering the core values that define your culture. Core values are the foundation of your company culture. They're the heartbeat of your business and the guardrails for how you behave. Core values often stem from the values of the business owner, but they're not something you invent or aspire to. They should describe who you are. Use this 5-step worksheet to discover what matters most to you and your team. So thing number 1, I just mentioned, identify your personal values. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What values would I like to live out, but I'm not currently achieving? And what does success look like to me? What you got, Josh?
All right. So this is what I have. I said, I stand for helping and building others up, to lead and give what I would expect. A successful business/career would be when I have built something that people, customers, or employees rely on in their day-to-day. How does that feel for you?
It's good.
Yeah?
It answers the question very directly.
Yeah.
What, okay.
I'm a very direct person, I guess.
Yeah. What values would you like to live out, but you're not currently achieving, though? You didn't answer that.
I guess I didn't. I guess it would be that leadership role. I kind of do that in the band, but I would like to have that as a successful business owner. I just want to be able to be someone that people can rely on. I guess that's a big value for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm an emotional guy, so a lot of my stuff will probably be very emo, just so everybody understands.
It's going to be emo.
Yeah.
All right.
What about yours?
My stuff is going to come out as a mess, I'm sure. But all right, here's what I put down here. So as I was listening to this, what do you stand for? What values would you like to live out, but you're not currently achieving? What does success look like to me? For a lot of this, I actually didn't answer direct questions. I just put a lot of just generals in there, right?
Sure.
So I put things that are important for me and what I stand for is obviously quality work, something we've always cared about. Prompt communication, just in personal life or not. Okay, so yesterday I was having band practice, right? Playing a show, guys. Shout out, Flying Free.
Yeah, Flying Free.
So we're having band practice, and, I don't really play music that much anymore. This is like a fun little reunion thing that we're doing. And I'm talking to Tom, the other gentleman in the band. And, we're finishing up. We're talking about, that was really fun. We had a good time. And Tom was just like, man, I really appreciate the communication from everybody. And this is going so well so far. And then he pointed at me and he's like, and Dave, man, I'm just thank you. So I didn't know what to expect, as far as the communication and stuff, because whatever, you're busy. You're the only one out of everybody that has a full on freaking career and all this stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
That's totally outside of music. And I was just I was shocked. I was really? I was you think I was going to communicate back, right?
Yeah, right.
And he's whatever. He was no, I didn't mean it that way. But anyways, for me, there's just something about communicating quickly back to people that just tells them that you prioritize and respect their time. You know what I mean? Okay. And you care about the things that they have to say. And one of the number one things that I've heard in my personal life as well as in our business is that quick and prompt communication is almost shocking to people initially. That we care enough to take the phone calls when they come in and answer the text messages. And most of us here at the facility, even if we're on vacation, we'll text you back if you reach out to us. We'll try to make time to get on the phone with you if you need us for something.
For sure.
So prompt communication is so important. It's such a massive thing that I think is commonly overlooked from people. Making people feel heard, particularly in tough times, and being a beacon of positivity, if you will. It's another one that's important to me. And all these things that I'm saying, when you look at these questions, what do you stand for? And then what values would you like to live out, but you're not currently achieving? I think all of us with all of these things ebb and flow in how much we may embody these individual values. So you could take all of these and I could say most of these are values that I would like to live out, but I'm not achieving as highly as I could. But like in writing them out, I'm like, oh yeah, like there are certain things in this. I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably do a better job of that. I've been a little sloppy with that recently, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right.
Sure.
But really helping people like feel heard out. Like there's nothing more frustrating when you're in a business situation, right? Where you work for somebody else and you have a complaint or a concern about something and you just feel like it's constantly brushed over, right? Like, so really helping people feel heard out. Or, we share examples of like customer service experiences we've had with other companies we've used.
Yeah.
Right? Like how many times have you hired somebody for something and maybe you didn't have as great of an experience as you want and you reach out to the individual, right? And you share your concerns. And there is such a fucking difference between people that literally don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right? And just like it completely trashes the relationship and the experience versus people that genuinely hear you out. And whether there's anything they can do about it or not, want to try to help you and make you feel heard.
Yeah.
Right? That's super important to me. Being viewed as disciplined and hardworking. That's always been one that's important to me is, you always want to be that person that like, how many times have you had a conversation with somebody where you're talking about somebody and you're like, man, like that dude fucking grinds, right? Or like that dude like really knows what he's doing or whatever it may be. Like everybody wants to feel like they're that person, right?
Yeah.
That's something that's always been important.
Okay.
Being independently motivated is a really important one for me. Right? And not being contingent on needing other people to get things done or to get yourself the motivation to do things. Very important. Striving to help each other as a team in times of struggle without judgment. Again, another very important one of, I don't even know how much of it is like a value, but like when you see somebody struggling, sometimes it gets easy to be like, God, just figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get with it. Right?
Yeah, I get that.
As opposed to what we all should be striving to do, which is, trying to help others in those situations. And then the last one that I have here is like always taking ownership of success and failure, right? I really, truly live by never making excuses for why something can't get done.
Yeah.
Even if there are exterior things at play, right? If you always live by this motto of like, there's something I could do to get myself to that, you'll make it happen still.
Yep.
Right? Those variables will become less and less relevant as time goes on.
True. So what does success look like to you, David?
So this is all personal, obviously. Identify your personal values.
Yes.
So success personally to me is building something you're proud of, right? Like what you have successes that like when people ask you like, hey, what's going on? What's new with you, right? Like you have things you're proud of that you could talk about, obviously.
Yeah.
Feeling like people respect you and respect you in the good ways, right? Obviously.
Yes.
Respect is not, it's like a kind of a dirty word, but like in general, it's not a bad word.
Yeah.
But like make sure people respect you for, good reasons, not because they're scared or this or that, but just because they genuinely look at you as somebody that they aspire to be more like. I think that's really important. And then never feeling trapped within anything is always very important for me.
Yeah.
Right? That's not really a value so much, but creating a life where you're achieving things, but you don't feel trapped ever.
Yeah. I feel like yet again in this, just as I am on this podcast, I feel like I'm very like layman's term on these questions compared to like what you've written out.
You gotta here's what I want you to do in these next ones, right?
Okay.
You gotta story tell it a little bit to me.
Oh, I gotta story tell it.
See how I'm like storytelling these things.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, you got it's like yours are like little cliff notes and mine's like a whole synopsis kind of,
All right. So this is the next one. Josh had to brainstorm with his key leaders.
Myself.
Yeah. All right. So it says, bring in your leadership team and decide how to weave your personal values into your business. If you don't have leaders, share the values with your spouse, a mentor, or trusted team member. Wow. Josh, sounds like you didn't share the values with your spouse, a mentor, or a trusted team member. What do you got? Hit me with it.
You're a mentor, right? I couldn't say anything to you.
Share them with me today, Josh.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Let's brainstorm together.
Ah, yes. Okay. This is what I wrote down. I'm just going to rate it all the way.
Okay.
My values tie into the gym in the form of being a great leader and community organizer. Gym culture is a very tribal entity, and the more you involve yourself, the stronger it becomes. More of a lifestyle than a job.
Elaborate on that. Storytell your perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Just elaborate.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm a very personable individual. I would
agree.
Say. We've talked about this before. And you're like, I said that I wasn't, and you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
You talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, especially in something that provides a service like a gym, people come there for the community. If they could go to anywhere, but if they're going to pick your gym, they want quality equipment, but they also want a good culture. Mm-hmm. So I think kind of becoming like a community leader in there as you talk to everyone, you listen to everybody's thoughts and concerns on the product that you have, and you just make everyone feel welcome and that they're heard, and if they want new equipment, blah blah blah, you're listening to them and making that space for them. Is that
yes,
sound good?
That's better.
That's better?
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't have fit that all on this piece of paper, all right?
No, that's true. That's true. You got to fit it in the noodle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where I get into some of these are almost like trick questions, right? It's like, okay, where are they going with this? So this one I did brainstorm with my key leaders. Mm-hmm. So I just casually, I was talking to Kayla, who's our facility manager the other day. I was like, I'm doing this thing, creating core values, creating a mission statement, doing all that kind of stuff. I was like, and she said something that was really interesting. She used to work at Rocket Mortgage for a while, right? Yeah. And when she was working at Rocket Mortgage, she said Rocket Mortgage was really big on this kind of stuff. They were really big on the mission statement. Yeah. They were really big on the core values. She said, but they took it to this like nth degree where it was like a little culty almost.
Yeah, I could see that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
A lot of those corporations are like that.
A lot of either corporations like that or like a lot of these like influencer guys and stuff. Like they don't like. Let's take a guy like that Andy Elliott, right?
Yeah.
Who whatever, like him, hate him.
You're not
I like a little bit about what he says.
Month yet?
Yeah, six-packer, you're fired.
Jesus.
So like they clearly to this extreme have these core values. Like you could look at like one of his big viral videos was that like six-packer, you're fired thing. We could argue that is like a core value.
Okay.
Right? Actually, it absolutely is.
Sure.
Right? Six-packer, you're fired is a core value of we only take absolute top performing driven individuals that want to hold themselves to the absolute highest caliber of what I'm going to specify what they think an individual should be, right? Because I don't think necessarily having a six-pack means that you are the absolute greatest person on the fucking planet.
Yeah, right.
But we could say that's a core value, right? And a lot of the other things that they preach are these core values as well, right? But they do it to this extreme where it feels almost like a cult, right? It's so what's the right word? It's so isolating or exclusive that there's such a small percentage of people that fit those values, and that's who they're looking for, right?
Okay.
And getting back to like one of my initial things of like what does success look like to me, I don't ever want to feel so trapped into something like that, right? Of like these like so like I make these values so rigid that like I'm severely limiting options of stuff that I could do, or the way people can operate. And this is just my opinion on it. Like I'm not saying anything's right or wrong. Like obviously they're building a big ass fucking company, right? Like, it is what it is. But that resonated to me when Kayla told me that. Yeah, like it gets almost culty where they like force all their team members to memorize all this kind of stuff. And they do these like mantra meetings and like shit like that, right? Like she's like basically was like advising, just make sure you don't get fucking crazy with it. Which I and she didn't say it in any type of like, you know, this is a stupid idea or anything. But like that's an important thing. You know what I mean? That's the point of brainstorming with your key leaders and bringing in your leadership team to decide together how to weave personal values into your business, right? Do you get so extreme with it where basically you're forcing everybody to become you in order to work at the team? Or are you keeping some broad, really important things that we stand by collectively as a company that allow for individuality while guiding the things that we do?
You know, it kind of reminds me, 15 years ago, maybe longer. Oh boy, maybe 20 years ago. I'm old. No, I was like 15 years ago. I worked at Walmart and we had to do
Worked
this.
at Walmart?
Yeah, I worked at
I didn't know
Walmart
that.
for like 9 months of hell. But they would make us go to the front of the store and then you had to get in a circle and you had to go WALMART. We are here to be. I don't know.
What's the rest of it?
I can't remember it anymore. But it was like that. It was very culty.
Yeah.
You know, it was like go team. You know, like what's our value? Blah 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 blah. And you know, people get that. You know, and you're just like, oh, we got to go do this thing. Yeah. Or there was the people that were just like
real into it.
Yeah, come on, guys. You know,
fucking Walmart.
And so I definitely get like, I mean, that's obviously an extreme cult version of it, but I see what she's saying of, you got to like ride that fine line of like, hey, I want people to have, what am I trying to think? Pride in working and being in your company. But you don't want to. We don't need to drink the Kool-Aid. Either. So.
Yeah. But it's a balance because you do need people like we would have to define drink the Kool-Aid, but like whatever the mission that you create, like you need your employees to totally buy into that mission.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess the to really define that properly, like. We need to make sure the Kool-Aid we're asking them to drink is not really fucking stupid. Basically.
Yeah. Just maybe some sips. Just sip the Kool-Aid. Don't chug it.
Make sure it's a healthy Kool-Aid that isn't gonna like kill them and turn them on the news.
Yes.
Right?
Like, no Jim Jones here.
So anyway, brainstorming with my key leaders. Oh, actually, did you read you read yours already, right?
Yeah,
you read it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I put down, I would like to use the values to ensure our customers feel special and important, ensure we could never say we didn't give it our all to help them to be successful, and help them feel heard out in challenging times, right? So like a lot of this is like we're creating values to help us be very, very customer-centric on making sure that they always feel like we truly care about them and the success of them, right? And then in addition to that, from an internal standpoint, I would like to use the values to help our team know the kind of work ethic, communication skills, and ownership we expect here at the company. Also to set example of the respect we should be providing each other. So, in a nutshell, that's the reason why we're doing this, is to help have a framework for how we act as employees towards each other as well as our customers.
Okay. I like that.
All right. Moving on. So section 3, this was observe. Watch.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, watch how you and your team act when you function at your best. Are there certain team members who stand out as walking examples of values you believe in? And then I added a little, and if so, what are those things? So basically, how I read this question is, how does your team act when they function at their best?
Yeah. I think you should do this one first because you have a full team.
Okay. So I did go through and like look at some key people within the company and certain traits that they tend to exhibit when they're acting at their best. I will leave those things blank and just go off of like 3 general principles that I've noticed within the team that we tend to stick with when we are operating at our best.
Okay.
Right? So thing number 1 is objectively looking at problems and looking to find solutions that will be best for the company, not just yourself. So the amount of times that I've seen key people within our organization recognize a problem and on their own come up with a solution that creates more work for themselves has been many a time. And if you look at that, that is the ultimate level of ownership that you could take over a problem, is putting the benefit of the company before yourself, right? Nobody would just sign up for creating theirself more work unless they truly believed in a bigger mission that they were striving towards.
Yeah.
So that's thing number 1.
Like that.
Thing number 2 is never being afraid to ask for help for the betterment of clients or to provide help to others for the betterment of the dogs or clients, right? So
It's a big one.
same deal, right? Like when you're in the middle of stuff and there's something you don't know, sometimes when you're just looking at things as this is my job, you just get through it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Autopilot.
You're autopilot, you know, you're not worried about like if I could do this better or not, or if I don't have the knowledge for this type of thing. And then same deal, when you're in just job mode, when you see somebody else messing up, you tend to view it from the lens of like, oh, this person is just making more work for me. Whether, you know, they're doing it intentional or accidentally, or they don't know something or not, but like it's creating more work for me. So you get upset with that individual as opposed to trying to help that individual to help yourself and then to help the company, right?
Yep.
So when we are operating at our best, I see individuals directly reach out for help over things that are not even that important of things, but they want to grow and develop to make the experience of the staff as well as the customers better. Right? And then same deal on the contrary, when they see others struggling, they strive to help those individuals in a totally non-judgmental way because they know that will benefit everybody involved. Right? And then the last one, unwavering integrity to do the right thing, even in circumstances where it is unpopular. So the thing that comes to mind with this is particularly in the dog industry, there are circumstances where you're dealing with more ethical issues. And I'm not even talking the treatment of dogs. Like obviously that's one of those common sense ones that I was talking about of like being ethical about the treatment of dogs is like a very important thing, right? I'm talking more so like when we're dealing with serious problem behaviors or we have customers that are wanting to reach out and hire us for situations where there's like a lot of risk involved for people and stuff. Having the integrity to do the right thing and have hard conversations with them, even if it may result in us losing money or not getting a customer or, you know, the customer needing to, I don't know, potentially get rid of their dog or put their dog down or something like that. Always feeling like you are doing the right thing is an absolutely essential part of how we act as a team.
That is great.
So those are my 3.
Yeah.
Did I story tell them well enough?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And, you know, this one's hard for me because it's just me and my business partner right now at this point. We don't have a physical thing or anything. But, you know, hearing that, you know, especially the asking for help and like the kind of safety net that you know everyone can come to each other and be able to communicate and learn or know if I have a question, I can go to you or another trainer or whatever. I think that shows like a great connectivity inside your company that you've built, you know? And I mean, anybody would just beg to have that, because there's a lot of times in a lot of any companies that I'm sure a lot of people have been in, if you ask a question, it's like, am I going to get reprimanded?
Sure.
You know, or am I going to get like coached and like shown how to do it properly?
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And again, like all these things, like one of the keys in this is like, watch how you and your team act when you function at your best, right? Like, listen, like we're not always at our best.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's I write these things down because I notice those as keys when we operate at our best, and being able to create this path towards making that the vast majority of the time is the whole point of this exercise. You know?
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, you know, some of these questions make you really think like, am I doing that all the time?
Yeah.
You know, or
it absolutely did.
You know, or the
It absolutely
situations
did.
where you're like, oh, maybe I could have done that, or I should have done that in this case, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Would you put down for that? Would that question make you think of?
So it's a little shorter for me, obviously, but you know, my business partner lives in Austin right now, so we're figuring everything out cross country at the moment. So my first one was overcoming obstacles by any means necessary. And that is us figuring everything out while we're 7+ hours away at time zone difference. Are we, you know, figuring out extra income to save for this on both sides of the aisle there? Exceptional teamwork across country, kind of the same thing of kind of splitting the load of responsibility between a business partner and myself. And then learning and growth was a huge one for us, because, you know, we went to Milwaukee, went to a gym that is currently a successful business, and just wrote everything down, learned, you know, shadowed, just trying to make ourselves as intellectual as possible in this gym industry. That's kind of where our strength have been right now, that we're hungry enough that we're going out and we're figuring out everything we need to do to open this the right way.
Yes. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to number 4. List your non-negotiables. What do you refuse to compromise on? These are principles that set your business apart and attract the most loyal, like-minded tribe. So for me, that sentence stuck to me the most in this one, of like, what are the principles that set your business apart and obviously attract the most loyal, like-minded tribe, but particularly what are the ones that set your business apart?
Yeah.
What would you put down for yours?
Mine, first off, was quality and cleanliness. You know, quality is, I want to have the best equipment in the state of Ohio. That's my goal. I want to have something that people would drive 20, 30, an hour to get a guest pass to come work out at our gym. Cleanliness is number 2. That came straight from the guy from that we shadow in Milwaukee. He said, people all the time say, you have the cleanest gym, you have the nicest gym. I feel comfortable being in here. And that's just something that I don't want to ever skimp out on. And that community driven, you know, thing that I talked about earlier. You know, I want people to come in and I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they want to be there. Like they choose us over the Planet Fitness. They choose us over the Lifetime Fitness. I want them to come in and feel like they have a friend.
Yeah.
I feel like that is how that like-minded tribe kind of comes into play for a gym.
Yeah, I agree completely. The cleanliness, and I'll add organization ability, is so key for anything.
Yeah.
We talk about this a million times, but like I'm really OCD with like organization and cleanliness and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure you guys have heard people talk this way before, but I'm sure you felt this also when you've gone into certain businesses or people's houses and stuff. But like when things are put together, your mind feels more put together.
Yep.
Right. And not only
100%.
do you as like an employee or a business owner or whatever operate better when things feel organized, but that radiates to other people coming in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when people come in and look around and their first thought is like, wow, this is really nice. Mm-hmm. You know? And it's not about obviously having nice stuff is good. Having the best equipment is good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But like even with subpar stuff,
Mm-hmm.
if it feels put together and organized, it's such a difference. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like I've over the years been in many of people's home training dogs, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been in people's houses that own $3, $4, $5 million houses where it's so unorganized and cluttered inside. And it's like, it doesn't feel that nice.
Yeah.
Versus I've been in people's small little bungalow in the suburbs home.
Yeah.
Who it's so put together and organized and clean and nice and everything. Where I
Yeah.
walk in and I'm just like, wow. Like you're literally like taking it back for a second. Like this is really nice.
Yeah.
And like that is such a, like, it sounds stupid. Like it sounds stupid even saying it because it's like, well, that has nothing to do with your fucking product. But it's like the whole experience, right? That is such a large part of it. If people walking in and right away their first impression is like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah.
And I give that example of like people that I've been in people with like multi-million-dollar houses versus really cheap ones, and the stark contrast because it shows this should be prioritized no matter where you're at in business. You don't have to have the fucking 20,000 square foot facility,
Yeah.
or $7 million gym or anything like that to prioritize this, and it will make such a big impact on your customers, and yourself.
Yeah. It's an aura,
Yeah.
that. Not to get spiritual about it, but it is an aura that people see, like especially in the gym. They're going to be there for 2 hours, 3 hours. They want to be in a clean
3 hours.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I do that sometimes.
3 hours.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. You got to do cardio, your workout, then you go in the sauna, and then anyway. Sorry, I guess that.
Jesus.
He's like, no wonder you don't have time for anything. Jeez. But even in like your circumstance, I know the product is obviously the dog training, but you have people in there. They want to know that their dog is going to be in a nice, clean environment, and they want to make sure that it's a nice facility. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it doesn't have to be a 20,000 square foot giant, like, I don't know, agility classroom kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I think you've always prioritized like what the facility looks like. You put the murals on the wall, you put up really nice fencing when it needed to be replaced. Like you made sure that the place looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's true. All right, here's my non-negotiables.
Okay,
so the things I think that set the business apart, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The priority of communication. Everything keeps coming back to this one for me, honestly. Okay. Never letting somebody feel ignored or that they aren't a priority, whether it's customers, whether it's employees, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family. Don't let people feel like they aren't a priority. Like it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but like I've had family members and friends and stuff like that who you text them, reach out, check in, want to see what they're up to, and it takes them 48 hours to get back to you. Mm-hmm. Right? And like, listen, I get everybody's busy, but like it's interesting that some of the more successful people in life are the fastest ones to respond back to people when they are probably some of the busiest people.
Yep.
It's a priority thing.
Yep.
Right?
For sure.
And all it says is that you aren't a priority. So just be aware of that one, And especially if you're a business owner. If it's taking you fucking 2 days, 3 days to get back to your customers over shit, there's no excuses for that.
No.
There's no fucking excuses for that.
Exactly.
So that's a big one. Always being there to help above and beyond when we're needed. That's also a really big one, right? Like, don't limit yourself to, like, using a dog training company as an example of, like, if you have a client that's struggling and they did their 2 free follow-up sessions already, like, just fucking help them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just, how about you just fucking help them?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a big one. That separates us apart. Always looking for the good in the client. This is one I added last minute, I feel like.
Okay.
Because I think we struggle with this sometimes as an industry. Right? A lot of blame gets shifted onto clients over things.
Yeah.
A lot of times when things aren't going the way you want them to be or there's a problem, a lot of times we like to look at it as it's a client problem, right? Try to just whatever the circumstances are, right? Try to look for the good in the client. Because it's always there, even when they might be frustrating you over stuff.
Yeah.
And that will help you relate to them more and help you to be able to connect with them more and help to be able to get past the problem. And then the last one is a non-negotiable for us that I think sets us apart is being able to take criticism, concerns, or complaints seriously and always trying to find the truth in them. So no matter how ridiculous the complaint is, try to find the truth in it and try to find something you could improve on with that. It'll help you grow. Shout out last episode.
Yeah, I was like, you mean last week? Okay. Woo! Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, right? Yeah. So those are my non-negotiables. Those are the things that I think set the business apart.
I agree with that.
All right, moving on here to number 5. Refine the list. It says you probably have a pretty long list of words and phrases that describe your company. Narrow them down to a few key values. There are no hard and fast rules for how many values you have as long as they resonate with you and truly represent who you are.
How big a list did you make? You make a short list? You short it down?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 things.
All right. Yeah, I have 4 down. Number 1 for me is integrity. Just always doing what you say you're going to do. You know, giving everyone peace of mind that if you're going to, in my case, something breaks, I'm going to fix it immediately. You know, I'm not going to be that, oh, don't use this and it's sitting there for 3 months, you know.
Yeah.
That's something that I really want to be known for, is that you can come to our space and everything will be in working order no matter what. Resourceful. When I say resourceful, I mean I want, if you need training sessions, like we're going to have personal trainers, like we have personal trainers, we have, all the equipment that you need to be successful in your fitness journey. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Community driven. Oh, also in resourceful, I want to have everything that you want, like saunas, recovery items, anything like that, start to finish. Community driven. Obviously, like I've probably put that one in the ground in every single question I've had, but I mean, it is just so needed in a gym. You have to be all about your community. You have to build that up. You have to make sure that you are creating that culture. And the last one's like uplifting, and that is basically the community driven, actually. So I guess I have more like 3. Those are my 3 like core, like refine the list of values for the gym.
I like that.
If you like those are good.
I think those are good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a newbie, guys. I've been it's weird because I had my I have my photography thing, but it's just always been me. And like it's good, but like I'm really trying to show myself as like someone that's a boss other than just myself.
But it hasn't always just been you.
No.
You got Boinkman.
I got Boinkman. And when he's not beating
you got
people.
Alexa, right?
Yeah.
You collectively work side by side with Alex, right? Like there's other people.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Right? Like
I guess I'm not giving myself enough credit on that.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit on that.
Maybe so.
You got people that you help to lead, and if anything, I would say one of your things that I observe to be a value to you is this like unwavering loyalty to not having anybody feel like the smaller guy in situations. Like, look at all these situations in the past where you've told me, like, oh, yeah, like, I want to freaking make this person a partner, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. You know what I mean? And it's like I've even, like, pushed back on you a lot of times in this situation. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's not necessary, you know? But, like, I know it's coming from this place of, like, you care so much about that person, right, or that individual, that you want them to just share in the successes that you guys are putting out there.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess that's true. I don't do, maybe this is becoming a therapy session, but maybe I need to do more self-reflecting on things that I've done. Because sometimes I just don't, you know, I never really think about it like that. If that makes sense. Like, you know, I just kind of live.
Well, the thing that is interesting about the values, right, is like these all start as personal values, and then you show how you would apply them then to a particular business.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you could look at this and you could go back as far as say, like, okay, well, what values did you have when you were helping to lead your band members back in the day, right?
True.
When you're doing your photography, right? Like when you are, you know, I don't know, when you were working places, like all these types of things, like what values did you hold to yourself and put into the work you did no matter what it was?
Yeah.
I think maybe you're getting a little too hung up on just the gym with this, right?
Maybe.
And like how you want to do that, as opposed to it all starting with you and looking at how you operate as an individual.
Yeah. Which I feel like I get more into in the next one. So.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. Because these ones it said like you know.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess I'm just too much of a literal person.
That's all right.
I was like, okay, must do gym. All right, give me yours.
Okay, so this one I really didn't know what direction I was going to go with this. Like I said, I wanted it to be applicable, but I wanted it to be personable, but I wanted it to not feel culty. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, in this it said, like, you probably have a pretty long list of words and phrases that describe your company. Narrow them down to a few key values. There are no hard and fast rules for how many values you have as long as they resonate with you and truly represent who you are. So as I was just like reading through all my answers and just reading through them. And like this common trait that keeps coming up every time I read these back and forth was this concept of like extreme hospitality towards people, right? All of these things that are non-negotiables and personal values that I have, and, you know, things that I observe with how we operate at our best and all of that is truly taking care of people in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Whether it's customers, whether it's employees, no matter what it is.
Yep.
Right? So I'm going through and I started doing some research of like, you know, like getting into, you know, different traits of, you know, best, you know, hospitality industries and this and that. And I kind of came up with this list of a handful of things. I did use AI a little bit to help me with this, just so everybody knows, right?
Okay.
And then I went further and show you how much of an overachiever I am here. Then I went and I created some bullet points for each one to help describe all of them.
Oh, wow.
So here's what I got. This is my list.
Okay, give it to me.
And these I truly feel are the core values that do define our culture as Miracle Canine Training LLC,
Okay.
right? So we got empathy, communication, attention to detail, problem solving, authenticity, teamwork, and going the extra mile. So let's break these down. Overachieving, you know?
Yeah. Extra credit over here.
Extra credit. So here we go. So we got empathy and anticipating needs. I think this is a big one, right?
Okay.
So what is that? Because again, this is something I plan on like presenting to the staff and like going over this and having a little kind of pep talk rally where we all chant our name over and over again. Right? So I wanted to be able to give examples of kind of what these things mean.
Sure.
So empathy and anticipating needs is understanding your client's needs, proactively addressing potential issues and desires, and tailoring the experience to them to make them feel special, right? So this is a key, obviously, value that we hold, is making sure that we understand individually what our clients' needs are and that we are tailoring a particular experience towards them, and obviously addressing potential issues and desires so that we can make that experience as good as possible for them, right? Next one, communication, and I added and listening because that's a part of communication, obviously. So clear, effective, and prompt communication builds trust.
True.
And like creates a sense of priority, if you will.
Yes.
Right? And then actively listen and observe your clients to truly understand their needs. I think that's a very important one too.
Yes.
Attention to detail. So notice and act on the smallest elements that move you towards a flawless experience. That is what attention to detail means to me, right? Is noticing and acting on the smallest components that help move you towards a flawless experience. We should all be striving for perfection.
Yes.
Right? You may not ever achieve it. I think it's impossible to ever hit a point where you achieve it. But if you are moving towards a flawless experience constantly, you will keep improving. The experience will keep improving, and your customers will be happy. Next one, problem solving and adaptability, because I think those are two things that go hand in hand with each other. So what is this? This is quick thinking and effective win-win problem-solving skills. I made sure I specified win-win problem-solving skills to navigate challenges and maintain a smooth customer experience. This kind of, as I was writing this out, I was like, got me thinking on the whole, like, oh, the client is always right kind of situation, which obviously I'm not a proponent in. I don't believe that. That's not a value that I have. But I do, because I feel like that puts you in positions where you're creating win-lose situations, right? If the client is always right, somebody is always getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Right? And this is something we talked about in the last episode when we were talking about a customer experience that I had been dealing with that you guys probably won't get to hear, but oh well, sorry. And in order to create a truly win-win situation, it would have resulted in me throwing a team member under the bus. And that's not something that I'm willing to compromise on.
Yeah.
Right? And also, let me specify, throwing a team member under the bus for something that wasn't even legitimate.
Yes. Yes.
And then the adaptability, obviously, is it gets into like the ability to remain calm and resourceful under pressure, right? So when things are hard, when you're dealing with tough situations, do you have the ability to maintain calmness and continue to stay resourceful? Meaning you could still you know how to figure out how to come up with the solutions, right? Next one is authenticity. Genuine care and concern for others. Listen, I talk about it a lot, right? We really care about our clients, which is why I think they notice so much more when we go above and beyond for them. It's not fake, right? We're not putting on our customer service face and trying to be nice to them.
Yeah.
We actually care about them. And if you can't actually say that about the work you're doing, find something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is genuine truth.
Right.
Right. And then second bullet point for that one is the ability to be fully oneself and avoid a scripted feeling experience. How often do you hear people talk about having sales scripts and like exact things they say to everybody every single time? And you could even tell sometimes. There are times I'm in a lesson with a client and I'll find myself starting to get into like an autopilot state of mind about stuff. And the second I notice that, I have to like check myself because if I get too far in that direction, I know that I'm no longer listening, actively listening, observing the guests to truly understand their needs.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it, what do they call it? Following the prompt?
Is that what it is?
I think that's what they say, when they had the written out thing.
Yeah. So you want to avoid that. Next one, teamwork and collaboration. the ability to work together to achieve a desired outcome or experience, identifying a struggling team member and striving to help in a non-judgmental way. That's something I mentioned a couple times over this. And then always being willing to ask for help if you don't know the solution. That's teamwork and collaboration for me. And then the last one is going the extra mile. This is a big one. Exceeding expectations, plain and simple. Under-promising and over-delivering, right? Let your work speak for itself, and don't promise something you're not 100% certain that you could achieve, but always strive, no matter what you promised, to over-deliver on what it was that you did promise them. And then I said, this is extra important in times when things aren't going as planned. So if there's problems, go the extra mile to resolve the problem.
Dang. Look at you, Mr. Extra Credit. That all sounded great.
Did you like that?
I did.
Damn, we're at an hour already?
We are.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, maybe we're like 35 minutes in. I was just thinking, I was like checking. I was like, how much time do we have left here?
Yeah.
Shit.
We might have to part 2 it.
I was going to say, I think we might part 2 this.
Okay.
I think that was good.
Yeah. You liked it?
I like that.
Okay. Oh, well, I guess this is part of the next one. Never mind.
Why? What?
Our actual mission statement. We'll leave that for next time.
We'll leave it for next time. That was good. So that's it. So this was a fun exercise that we did.
Yeah.
I recommend, if you're a fucking dog trainer listening to this, you work for a dog training company, you own a dog training company, do something like this. Like just this like list at the end. Like I overachieved here. It's past what it said. But like this is, I'm like reading this back just now. I was like, I'm excited to go over this with the team.
Yeah.
And just help create some framework for how we expect our individuals to be acting at all times.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in like a act this way, motherfucker, right? Like,
yeah.
just
I know
in
what you meant.
like a, you know,
Yeah.
like, hey, this is who we are,
For sure.
right? This is what we're striving for.
Yep. Cool.
So,
Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah, I like this. I'm excited to do the second part.
Yeah. All right, guys.
If you liked it, let us know.
Let us know. We're going to end on that because we're an hour. Damn, an hour in already.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It kind of blows my mind.
It does, right?
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.